everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk about that Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer. Now, out of nowhere, like, it was this subtle thing that just was building and building over time. First of all the rumors, and I've talked about all the rumors, about the Toby and Andrew, about the Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, and maybe even maybe about Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro, and all this different shit. I've talked about it before, and how crazy it is. And how the movie's becoming something totally different than I like. If you had told me, and like, we can take ourselves back to 2019, when Spider-Man Far From Home had ended, I thought for certain that I was like, if you had asked me what the movie was going to be about, I was like, oh, first of all, Kraven the Hunter is going to be the main bad guy, because all I kept hearing was that the director wanted to use Kraven the Hunter, and that, like, no, not only did the director want to use Kraven the Hunter, Ryan Coogler wanted to use Kraven the Hunter in Black Panther, or he wanted to use him in Black Panther, but he wasn't allowed. So I'm thinking that the new Spider-Man No Way Home is gonna be about, like, coming out like in 2019, coming out Far From Home. I'm thinking it's gonna be about him on the run, trying to clear his name, like being hunted by this Kraven fella, being berated by Jonah Jameson, has to figure out a way to get himself out of this position. It's gonna be a more darker story. It was gonna be one of those really dig deep stories and discover yourself, which ironically, there are parts of that are still going to be in the movie, but quickly it became one of these things. But like, as months went on, and after the whole fiasco with Sony and Disney having a fight, like literally right after Sony and Disney came back to the drawing board and started working together again, that's when these rumors and this concept of this being a multiversal movie started to come into shape. That's when the Andrew Garfield and the Tobey Maguire rumors and the rumors of villains and the rumors of, and then with the official announcement that Doctor Strange would be in it, like, that's when the gear started going that direction, which tells me, if I'm being all but honest, and the fact that they moved John Watts off that franchise onto Fantastic Four, which clearly means that he's cool working with Marvel and Marvel likes working with him. Which tells me if there were going to be more Spider-Man movies, he would have stuck around to do them. It tells me that the MCU had different other ideas for Spider-Man and Sony had different ideas. And basically, that's what the big beef was about. They came back together and now they're making this movie. I don't know if Kevin Feige wanted to make this kind of movie. Honestly, I think this movie was going to be a straight-up Spider-Man third movie. It's going to be a slightly darker tone. It's going to be a more traditional sequel in the vein of a Winter Soldier or a Ragnarok. Or a Ragnarok Winter Soldier. But, like, in terms of, like, building upon what came before. But, like, basically, what we're getting is a meet in the middle. Because Sony clearly wants this huge multiverse thing so that they can have their own cinematic universe and so that they can claim that their stuff is connected to Marvel's stuff, so that way they can keep lying to people and telling them that their stuff is made by the MCU. So that way they can, like, have that connection, that air of the MCU, so that people are tricked to go see their movies. And they want that. And in order to do it, not only do they want that, but they want you to remember how great their other stuff was before the MCU. So what we got now, the film we have coming, is essentially part of what Feige and the MCU wanted to do and part of what Sony wants to do. It's like they came together because, honestly, the story that you're seeing, and like, I don't want to go bit for bit. It's just a teaser. I mean, there's a lot in the teaser that is really fun and really great, but it's just a teaser at the end of the day. First of all, it looks like it takes place immediately after, almost immediately after the end of Far From Home. And, like, Peter's life is just being torn apart. It's just difficult for him because he's a kid. He wants to go to school. He can't go to school anymore. He's being mobbed. Clearly, the cops. And, like, I see some people on the internet confused. I see people actually genuinely confused. And I know I'm going to get some people who understand, who understands like me. First of all, The reason he's having such a tough time, because I've seen people say stupid shit like, well, none of the other Avengers had that tough a time. Why is it that big of a deal? No one else has a secret. Well, the bigger deal is, it's not so much him being revealed to be Spider-Man. That would have been a big deal in the school environment and whatnot, and and not to mention, that makes sure all his friends, targets to criminals he's, taken down. Like gang crime families and whatnot, but that's not the angle that's really the problem. That's just other stuff. Like that's a problem too. The problem is that he is framed for killing a hero. As far as the world's concerned, Mysterio was the heir apparent to Tony Stark and the next savior of the world, murdered by Spider-Man. And framed and murdered by Spider-Man, who has access to an army of drones. So you have to understand, the reason his life is miserable and everything's falling apart, and his Aunt May and Ned are in jail, are being interrogated by a cop, and he's getting questioned. I didn't kill Mysterio. The drones did. They're your drones. It's because not only does he have the glasses that give him access to thousands of deadly drones, but people think he actually used them. No, Mysterio. Sorry, getting a little hype. Mysterio essentially blamed Peter for all the events of the finale and his death in Far From Home. So you have to understand, that's how the public are coming at Peter Parker right now. They are coming at Peter Parker as, not only have you hid your face and you're the only hero who doesn't have a showdown identity, you killed a hero, you nearly killed countless others, and you have access to deadly drones. So yes, he is having a tougher time than most other superheroes. Sorry. Tony Stark never got framed of murdering countless people. Anyways, that's one thing that I see people confused about, and I'm like, no, it's a bit different. It's more of him being framed for countless murders and the murder of a perceived hero that's really upsetting people and making things hostile and pretty much made his life a living hell. He cannot live a normal life. He cannot go back to... there is no normality. Like, honestly, I don't see how this is going over people's heads, or why they're like, well, this is petty. Like, no. He is framed for murder. Not just murder, for the attack on London. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how this keeps flying over people's heads. And and it would be one thing if it was just Spider-Man framed for those things, because that's a pretty easy save, right? Just stop being Spider-Man, or get a new suit. Like, it's pretty easy. But since his face is attached to it, it's him. So that's the big deal. That's why he asked Doctor Strange to do something about it, because his life is hell. His life is a living hell. And not like a metaphorical living hell that apparently people... No. He cannot go back to his normal life. Honestly, I would not be surprised, because like a lot of this stuff is out of context. A lot of the scenes we see are out of context. And I would not be surprised if there's more to it. If like there's something going on with Aunt May. Aunt May's about to lose her I can't remember. She had like a homeless shelter or something that she had growing. Like she was like helping feed people who come back from the blip. Like she might lose that. Ned might lose scholarships. Like there are a lot of things that are probably happening that lead Peter to going, I have to ask Doctor Strange to help me, because if I don't, not only is my life going to be completely and utterly ruined, I'm going to be a disgrace. I'm not going to be able to get a job anywhere in the country because everyone thinks I'm a murderer, even if I get off. And that's if I get off the charges. I could spend the rest of my life in prison for something I didn't do. Like, there are countless things that are probably going on in the movie that led him to going to see Doctor Strange that we just have not seen. But let's get into the Doctor Strange of it all. A lot of people upset at Doctor Strange in this trailer. By the way, love Doctor Strange's look in the trailer. Loved his line to Peter. Like, I love seeing this crossover. First of all, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, classic crossover. I first saw this crossover in the 90s Spider-Man show. Love that fucking thing. Spider-Man. Love that show. Love that show. I've watched that show. Stands up. Stands the fuck up. That 90s Spider-Man. Dialogue's a little cheesy, 90s. Animation's a little, but all cops got laser guns because, they can't shoot bullets, but still, it's cool. But I love that 90s. And I remember seeing that episode, and then there's an episode where Doctor Strange shows up, and there's an episode in every single Spider-Man series, I think, where at a certain point he interacts with Doctor Strange. It's just because they live right, it's like one of those things because they live down the street from each other. Like, they're not that far away from each other. So it's just so easy for him to, if he has to deal with a mystical problem, just be like, oh, Doctor Strange, and they do, and I don't think they're gonna play with it here, but in the comics a lot of times they play with the idea that Peter doesn't really believe in magic, he's a scientist, and Doctor Strange is like, you're just kind of closed-minded, Peter, and I kind of like their dynamic, and there was a bit of that here, with him just, Peter, we saved half of the universe together, I think you're past calling me just sir, you can call me by my name. Alright, Steven. Oh, man. That's weird. All right, okay, fine. That was strange. Clearly something went wrong in the Sanctum. It can't be that bad because Wong and Doctor Strange are just kind of... they're just kind of chilling. But so it couldn't be that bad. So clearly it was probably a spell gone awry, which is kind of a setup too, perhaps, to why Doctor Strange is so willing to do Peter's spell, is because he's just do this spell because he's just trying shit. I would not put it past that he cast some crazy spell that turned the entire Sanctum Sanctorum into a blizzard, and it's just he's just trying shit. He's just pushing his limits of how far he can go. So I would not put it past that in this movie, when Pete, there are many options there are a couple options to why Doctor Strange is doing what he's doing. Why would Doctor Strange agree to do this spell for Peter? Option one. He is arrogant enough, and he thinks he's good enough to pull this off. To him, this isn't that big of a spell. To him, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, okay, I'm wiping a couple memories. I'm wiping the memories of everyone on Earth of a single incident. Not that big of a deal. I can pull this spell off. To him, it's probably something he can pull off. And he's arrogant enough, and he's egotistical enough to think he can do it. Something goes wrong. Maybe it's because of him, maybe it's not. But something goes wrong, and damn, I can't believe it went that way. Option number two is, in my opinion, the most likely option. He's doing Peter. He's doing it because he knows that, because he's talking to Peter and he knows that Peter can't live a normal life. He can't, he owes Peter. Not only does he owe Peter for saving his life, but he's just I'm gonna do this favor for you. And I actually don't think Peter's talking is what made this spell go haywire. I think at this moment that he is doing this spell for Peter, the multiverse opens up. And it completely fucks up the spell because it was just bad timing. I believe that that's going to be the case. I believe that the events of Loki will happen at the exact moment he's doing this, and he will be completely fucked up, and he'd be like, oh shit, what is happening? And it's going to be crazy. That's what I think. I think the events of Loki are why this is going to erupt. It's because of what happened in Loki. And it's going to happen at the exact same time. And it's not going to be really anyone's fault. Though I have a gut feeling it might end up being more so it's sort of kind of Peter's fault, because I think there is another option too, that this spell was going to be cast and it was going to work perfectly, but it's connected to Peter's emotions, it's connected to how Peter feels, and since Peter's completely unsure and uneven and whatever, it's thrown the spell off, and he's just like, you gotta calm down, this spell won't work if you're freaking out, and he's freaking out and the spell's not gonna work. Not because Strange couldn't do it, but because Peter was screwed up. So probably what's going to happen is by the end of the movie, all this is going to get closed up. All this is going to get closed up. Doc Ock, all this open. No. That's all going to get closed up. By the end of the movie, Strange is going to be able, Peter is going to be at peace of mind, and Strange is going to be able to completely complete the spell. Complete the spell. It might even be one of those things where he has to complete the spell. Like, there is no going back. I have to complete the spell to
chop off this.
But, I don't think he made the multiverse happen. I think that it was happening and he just, they just cracked it open even more. But man, like there's some effects in this that looks awesome. Looks like they're gonna have the Doc Ock in well, not just Doc Ock, Green Goblin. People are curious of how they're gonna do that design. Oh man, I'm hyped for this. I really am. There's so much Marvel right now. Like, damn. Like, I mean, the Shang-Chi reviews just came out. It's looking pretty good. Got like a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. Fucking Eternals trailer was banging. Fucking got What If coming out tomorrow. The last What If with Chadwick Boseman was awesome. Got Spider-Man trailers dropping. Like, by the way, we ain't even got the Hawkeye trailer, which you know is going to be coming in at least a few weeks now. I mean, because the show comes out in November. So the trailer has to be coming out at least next week. Like, at least next week. So, got that coming. Oh, man, this is just nuts, dude. It really is. Like, sometimes I sit back and I'm just like, this is just crazy. Like, it's like I never thought about it before. Like, you know, like, I've thought about it, but not, like, in any serious way. The sheer amount of shit we got, man, it's so nuts to me. Like, I'm just looking around, just like, man, I just got WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki and Black Widow and the What If and got Shang-Chi about to come out next week. It got Eternals coming out in November. Got the Hawkeye show coming out. I mean, and then Spider-Man in December. I'm like, oh. It's like Thanksgiving, fucking man. It's like Thanksgiving over here in Marvel, man. It's like Thanksgiving over here. And I am very, very thankful. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. No. One last thing, just a tidbit. Doctor Strange is not the Sorcerer Supreme. He is never called the Sorcerer Supreme in any of the episodes. He's not referred to as the Sorcerer Supreme. And technically, at the end of the original Doctor Strange, Wong says that the multiverse will feel, well, I'm just paraphrasing, but he basically said the multiverse will feel the loss of the Sorcerer Supreme, which means at that moment, he wasn't just made the Sorcerer Supreme. Doctor Strange is technically just the protector of the New York Sanctum. That's it. He's the protector of the New York Sanctum, and he's not even the protector of the Time Stone. All the sorcerers are the protector of the Time Stone. He just wields it. He was just one of the guys who figured out how to use the damn thing. Technically, Wong is his senior. That's why Wong talks to him the way he does, because technically, he's Doctor Strange's senior. Yes, some people don't know that, and I see a lot of people out there calling him the Sorcerer Supreme. Doctor Strange is not the Sorcerer Supreme yet. I know it's confusing. If you're a comic book person, you know him as that. You've always known him as that, but he is not yet. So, I might talk about that in another video, because I just see so many people confused. I might just talk about it. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me on the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.